Welcome to Magical Women's new series, The Winner's Circle, a series of episodes dedicated to magical women who have been recognized in the industry and awarded for their stellar creativity and performances. So I did a little bit of research about you, and I watched a bit of your performances with this fantastic In Her Hands act. You competed at the German Championships, and you were the first female to win. Can you explain to the viewers first a little bit about that experience, and then secondly, how did that change your life?
Yes. So yeah, it's true. I was the first woman to win the German Championships of Magic in it's a 100-year-old story of the Magic Circle in Germany. I think it gave motivation to a lot of younger girls, which is really nice, which I'm really proud of. And for me, of course, it did change a lot. It did change a lot because first of all, a lot of people booked my act. So, I got known for it. And I did like a lot of TV shows after it. So it was really a game changer. First of all, of course, we all know it's good to have a deadline, to have the competition day as the deadline. And I needed that because I work best on deadlines, like a lot of people, I think. And it just also gave me a lot of confidence to keep on going, because creating your own magic, as you know, is kind of a roller coaster. It can be very frustrating, can be fun, it can be difficult, it can be long, it can be expensive, but in the end I'm so glad that it paid off, more than I ever thought, actually. So that was really, it was a game changer for me. Yes.
You mentioned the importance of a costume designer, and I'm a big advocate of having a costume designer and having base costumes that make sense so you can layer. And so can you just tell the viewers, in your opinion, why it's so important to have a great costume designer for magic?
Well, first of all, I think it's just nice to have a very nice looking outfit. I think it's really important to have a good costume. And I do need a costume designer because my magic is really based and dependent on costumes. For me, the costume designer is not only about the style. I'm usually the person who designs it because I have very clear ideas of how I want it to look, or of how I want to look. But it's so important to have someone who understands the material and who can work with it, because I have no idea about material. Maybe now a bit more because I've been doing it for a long time, but it's really important because it can change so much. It can make a difference. And my costume designer, she's really great. She's really creative too. She never gives up. And she came up with some techniques, actually, even though she's not a magician. And it's such a fun way of working with her. I don't like to work alone. So it's just, the techniques can get so much better. And it doesn't matter what it is. You can use black art, you can use toppets, you can, whatever you want to use. I really, really put a lot of thought into my costumes and my outfits. I really do.
I think once you've developed something, it's so easy to copy it. But when you're actually creating it and you're going through all of those failures that it takes to have a success, I think a lot of times people aren't willing to make that commitment, and also don't understand how hard it is when you see the final product. That it's so simplistic and easy, and often, unfortunately, it's easy to copy, but they have no idea of the blood, sweat, and tears that went behind it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like it's not like I'm only performing my own things. If I go on a cruise ship and I have to do 2 times 45 minutes, of course I'm also using tricks from other magicians, tricks that you can buy. I'm trying to, of course, make it my own a little bit, but it is a different feeling. It's really true. It's a different feeling. Like if it's your own, it's just, you feel it. You really feel it. There's a difference. Like you say, you've been through it, through the whole process. You can still feel the process in your body somehow, because you've tried it from every position, every angle, and that's a really amazing feeling for me. And I really prefer to have that feeling. That makes it worth it. But yeah, of course, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears before you get there. But that's where you don't, you know, like, and what I think is just the moment before you want to throw it, you know, into the garbage, your idea. That's usually when it works. And you know, with the costume designer, yeah. Sometimes she's also like desperate and saying like, oh, I just want to throw it out of the window, this costume. And usually that's when she says, okay, but we're going to try this. That's the last thing we're going to try. And this is the thing that works. And it happened many times like that. It's like a rule almost. Right. And we also have like this rule, like me and my costume designer, we say like, you know, you usually go from an easy solution to a complicated stage, and then it comes back to simple. And you cannot skip the complicated one or the messy period. You know, it's not possible. You have to go through it usually. I mean, maybe sometimes you're lucky to just go right to the perfect solution. It can happen too, not very often, but I think it can. But most of the time, it's like an easy like prototype. Then you make it complicated, and then you go to simple again. But there's no way of, you know, that's where people stop usually, because when it gets complicated, there's a point where people say, you know, I'm not going to continue.
Yeah, persevering through and having enough passion for the idea that you're going to get it. You know, you're not going to. You're like a dog with a bone. You're not going to stop, even though you want to stop.
I think like I can only do that if these are my own ideas or the ideas I'm really passionate about. Like otherwise I can't. I just cannot.
I absolutely adore your presentations and what you're coming up with. It's brilliant. For the viewers who don't know, Alana's parents were magicians, and she grew up in a magic family, and so she was on stage from a very young age and had performance experience from a very young age.
Yeah, exactly. I grew up in a magical family. My parents were magicians. They worked as a duo. Well, my dad was the main character, the main person. My mom was the classic assistant. And yeah, on my 5th birthday, it was my first time on stage singing with my dad. He did not only magic, a couple of other things. And he taught me some tricks. I performed it in his show, but never did like my own style. I think I was too young for it. My dad just taught me how to do it, how to present it, everything. But it was a real good base for performance in general, because he gave me so much advice, and it was just the routine of being on stage, and not only on stage, like being, you know, on a dance floor, or you know, it was not all beautiful stages. I did a lot of like terrible jobs with him that you do as a professional magician. Like at a young age, nothing could shock me. Because of this, I was able to focus really on my presentation, on my presence, because let's say I've seen it almost all. I wasn't bothered by any circumstances, so I knew how to focus on my presentation. This is basically the most important thing that I've learned performing together with my dad, and I'm so thankful for it nowadays, because yeah, at a very young age, I already had this kind of presence, I think, which came from experience also. Maybe a bit of talent. I don't know how the percentage is, you know, but it was a lot of work.
Well, this has been fantastic and a delight. I'm so pleased to meet you and to learn more about you. Did you enjoy this talk as much as I did? Have you subscribed to our Magical Women channel? If you haven't, please do. And be sure to hit the notifications bell so you'll be notified when new uploads happen. Don't forget to comment. We really enjoy the feedback and learning what you like and what you'd like to see more of. Ciao for now.